Okay, welcome to the aromatic ingredient and flavor application, Chapter 3, Part 2. So in this part, we're still going to continue to talk about flavor generation in food. The previous Part 1, we had used the meat as an example, and this will be using cheese as an example, okay? Alright. Okay, let's look at it. What is cheese? I think a lot of people know what is cheese. Okay, just want to clarify further what is cheese. It's made from milk. Okay, it depends on it can come from different milk like cow's milk, buffalo milk, okay, goat's milk, and so forth. Okay, of course, different milk will lead to different type of flavors. Okay, because the component is very important. Yeah, so choosing the right milk for cheeses is very important. Okay. But different manufacturing and aging process are used to produce the array of cheese available today. So cheese is made by coagulating or curding the milk. So the milk is being coagulated and then it's being stirred, heat, drain off the whey, collect, press the curd, and then in some case ripening. Okay. So later I'm going to talk about what is ripened and unripened cheese here. Cheese nowadays can be made from whole milk, 2% low-fat milk, 1% low-fat milk, or fat-free milk, or a combination of these milk. Yeah. For flavor-wise, if the flavor is very important, okay. Usually the more the fat is sometimes it's better, yeah, because there will be more flavor resulted from that, okay, due to the lipolysis. So what is unripened and ripened cheese? Okay, unripened is made by cooling the milk proteins with the acid. Okay, the acid can come from the pure acid, or it come from the lactic acid bacteria. Okay, and usually the unripened cheese will include like soft cheese. Okay, like all these in the bottom here. Okay, cream cheese, cottage cheese. Okay, and Nufra cheese. Okay. The ripened cheese are made by cooling the milk with enzymes, okay, and cultured acid. Then cheese are ripened, or what we call aged, okay, by using bacteria or mold. Okay, so in this case, there will be additional, okay, it can be starter and addition of non-starter bacteria to create cheese with different flavor. Okay. So it can be like cheddar, Swiss, Colby, and so forth. Okay. So how the cheese made? Okay. So the first is that a culture of starter organism is added to the milk. Okay. This ferments the milk sugars, primarily producing lactic acid. Okay. So this one I think I have mentioned before. Okay, through the glycolytic pathway. The most noticeable effort of this is to reduce, the pH. So this is due to the production of lactic acid. So the more lactic acid produced, okay, then the pH will start to drop. So that the main group of the milk proteins, the casein, start to coagulate, okay, forming a loose curd. Or if a coagulant protease is also included, okay, in this case is chymosin, okay, forming a firm gel. Okay, a high proportion of milk fat present is usually trapped in the curd. Yeah. So this is very interesting in terms whether you use the rennet, okay, which is the whole rennet from the calf stomach, okay, which include the enzyme chymosin and other type of enzymes, okay, or you use the nowadays they got the pure chymosin for you to use, okay. Of course, the flavor profile will be different here. With the rennet, there are additional enzyme in there, then more flavors, theoretically more flavors should be there, okay, compared to the chymosin, which is, if you just add chymosin, then if you only responsible for curding, okay, or coagulations. So the curd is then separated from the fraction which remains soluble, the whey, okay, the whey will be separated. Okay, and then it's salted. The salted is very important to help in the drying process or to make it more firm, okay? And then it can be pressed further to remove additional weight, okay? So normally the cheese then require an extended period of storage to mature or ripen. Okay, the ripening process, right, it actually varies, yeah, depending on what kind of cheese that you are making, okay? Why is the time factor is in here? Because the if you give enough time, then the enzyme can actually break down more, okay? Then more components can be created. Okay, so the time factor is very, very important here, okay? So sometimes additional organisms or enzymes are included to promote the ripening. Yeah? So all these can be added extra. Okay, I'm going to mention that later through the slides. Yeah. So here is the illustration. So we have raw milks. Okay, pasteurized. Usually the milks, right, will require to go through pasteurization. Yeah, that is a standard industrial practice. Okay, to prevent the foodborne diseases. Yeah. So they will usually pasteurize the standardizations of the milk, fat, or proteins, okay? Then this is the part where you can add rennets, okay, or the chymosins, okay, or other type of fermenting microorganisms. So it really depending on what type of the cheese that you are making. So if you dictates what kind of fermenting microorganism or what kind of the enzymes, additional enzymes that you want to put into there, okay? So once the milk is being curdled, okay, they will cut, okay, the cutting is to release the or drainage of the whey, okay, you can see the whey. Then if you use it, then after that it will salt, okay, addition of salt, salting will add flavors, and also it can help to dry the curd and during draining by controlling the moisture and causing the curd to shrink, okay. So in this case, after you salt, okay, you can take out, okay, without ripening. If you don't want to go for ripening, then you can go for the fresh cheese, okay, unripened cheese, okay, cottage, cream cheese, and so forth. If required the additional ripening, okay, so then they will pour in the mold, okay, and then they will ripen, okay. So you might thinking, oh, what's the difference between these two? Okay, or again, it depending on here. If you want to go for fresh cheese, okay, so probably you just need this here. If you want to go for the ripening, then if you need to add additional fermenting microorganisms in there to promote the ripening. Okay. So these are some of the cheese. Okay, so you got the mold ripen. Yeah, then you got the surface ripen, then you got internally ripened cheese. Okay, and there are a lot of different cheese. Yeah. So if you think about it, fresh milk are bland. Okay, slightly sweet because of the lactose. Okay, the lactose gives you a bit of sweet, but usually it's bland. Yeah, no taste. So how do the cheese come out with the taste is through fermentation. Okay, so the fermentation itself. Okay, then because of the available enzymes in there, okay, it will promote lactose and citrate fermentations, protein degradations, amino acid catabolism, breakdown of amino acids, and also from lipid degradations. Yeah. So the flavors really dictates. Yeah. So it really depending on what are the starter bacteria you use. Okay, because what the starter bacteria you use, not only it can help to coagulate. Okay. You also, because the bacteria itself also contains other type of the enzymes in there. Okay, so the enzymes from the bacteria can facilitate the breakdown of the milk components. Okay, in this case, right, then of course the flavor will be generated. All right. So if you want further more of the flavor developed, then you can add additional non-starter bacteria in there. Okay, of course, non-starter bacteria in there. Again, inside they have different the enzymes that can help to promote the breakdown of the milk components in there to generate flavors. Okay. So for lactose and citric fermentations, okay, you can so these are the different type of starter the bacteria, yeah, okay. You can there are two types of starters. There is one we call the hormone fermentative starter. Another one is called the fermentative starter. Okay, it can be bacteria or mold. Okay, oops. Alright, so a variety for the hormone fermentative starter, a variety of organisms share the ability to ferment lactose to lactic acid. Yeah. Okay, for hormone fermentative, the end product, okay, will be lactic acid. Okay, which is the main flavor of many cheese. But if you go for the heterofermentative starter bacteria, then more products can be produced. Not only lactic acid, it can produce wider range of products here, including the acetaldehyde, ethanol, butanol, and so forth. Okay, of course, it will produce carbon dioxide as well. If you are using the heterofermentative starter, you have to be extra careful. Yeah, you have to be extra careful because you need to control it. Else, otherwise, okay, then the cheese flavor can go wrong. Yeah. Okay, if you're interested, please read the handout 5 of this. So here is the graphic illustrations, okay, of the in this case, this one is the glycolytic pathway, okay, or citric, one of the components that produced during that. Citric acid, it can produce all these are flavors. Okay, you see here, acetaldehyde, is so forth. All these can produce different type of flavors. Okay. Okay, so this one is the lactose we have mentions here. Okay, so the lactose and citric fermentations, protein degradations. Okay, so these are the one. Okay, and here is the protein degradations. Okay, so caseins. Okay, caseins are polypeptides. Okay, you can break down to amino acids, and these are a lot of different type of aromatic amino acids. Okay. Aromatic amino acid. Of course, it can break down further to produce a wide variety of volatile organic compounds. Okay. Protein degradations as cheese mature, protein is degraded by proteases to give peptides and then free amino acids. Again, these depend on the time. Okay, the more the time you given, then it will break down more. Okay. Then you create more of the free amino acid. Free amino acid is a very, very strong taste, the flavors, yeah, okay, the smell. So the enzyme represented for the proteolytic may include, okay, as I mentioned in a few slides before, it can any protease. Protease means is the enzyme that break down the protein, they call it protease. Okay, it's the enzyme that break down the proteins. Any protease initially used to promote the gel formations, okay, that is included in the rannins, okay, or rannets, okay. So it can that's why I say it really depending on what kind of the starter bacteria or what kind of what's it called, are you using the rennet or are you using the chymosin? Okay, it depends. Yeah, so all this can cause a different degree or different ways of protein degradation. Okay, so extracellular proteases produced by adventitious and starter organisms. Okay, all these are other type of starter bacteria that you add inside. Okay, intracellular protease released from the live cell. This one is originated from the what we call the it can either come from the milk itself or it can come from the what we call the bacteria, yeah, or the microorganism that you use. Okay, so indigenous milk proteases. Okay, all these are the proteases originally in the milk. Okay, proteases from the organisms such as psychotroph, okay, which often grow in the often grow in the raw milks, which are not completely inactivated by pasteurization, even though the original Q itself Q. Yeah, okay. So you can see that there are a wide variety of the enzymes from different sources can resulted in protein degradation, which resulted in the flavor produced. Okay. But the best bet is what you can control is really this here, okay, is this tree, okay. So it's really what you add inside, okay. What you added inside is will dictate what type of the flavors is being produced, okay. Lipid degradations are really depending on the milk fat that I have mentioned before, okay. So milk is essential for the developments. Of course, if you're using the low fat, okay, or no fat, no fat the milk, okay, then the flavor generated from the lipid will be very limited, okay. So in this case, for blue cheese, correct balance of the odd chain ketones, including the heptane 2,1 and nano 2,1, okay, has been considered the key contributor to the blue cheese flavor. Yeah, so this one is the image of the blue cheese. Okay, so this is the graphic illustration. You can see this one is the original triglyceride from the milk fat, okay. Of course, depending on what kind of lipases, okay, it can come from the starter bacteria, fermented bacteria, or originally from the milk itself, and break down into different type of the flavor components, okay. So the cheese types, right, they can see from here that different type of cheese over here, you can see you use different type of the primary starter, you can see, okay, the different starter, right, and also adjunct starter, you can see from here, different the microorganism will give different type of flavor, okay. So you will see over here the sensory attributes is different flavors, okay. So choosing the correct the primary starters to produce the desirable the cheese, okay, is very crucial. So you can see from here, okay, these are the enzymes here. So you can see the studies comparing the enzyme of lactic acid bacteria shows that these techniques allow clear differentiation between strains, okay. So different strain of microorganism, they contains different amount, okay, or different concentration of the enzyme and different varieties here, and then these will lead to affect the ability to produce different type of flavors, right? So one of the very important the enzyme over here, okay, cystathionins and lyase, okay, activity was shown to vary greatly between several cheese-related strains in genera, including the Lactobacillus, Lactobacillus, Streptococcus, okay, and so forth. Okay, so you can see different enzymes, okay, are in different type of starter bacteria or those bacteria that you add inside. So again, choosing the correct bacteria, okay, to create the desirable of the flavor is very crucial. Nowadays, the cheese ripening process is getting more and more advanced, okay. So nowadays they have they can use the technology intervention to actually accelerate the cheese ripening process, okay, through using the temperature and the pressure over here to accelerate the process, okay. Of course, they also nowadays they have a lot of studies and they can use different type of adjunct culture, okay, not the starter culture, adjunct culture that is complementing with the starter, and also using different type of exogenous enzyme. Yeah. Exogenous means you add inside, yeah, to create, okay, different type of the desirable flavor in there, okay, as well as to accelerate the ripening. Because why you want to accelerate ripening? Ripening, as I mentioned, is a long time processes. If you can shorten it, okay, then if you reduce the timing required to ripen, and of course you can quickly sell the cheese, okay. So nowadays it's very advanced that there are a lot of the methods you can see from here to assess the sensory attribute, to make sure that the profile of the cheese is there, okay. The profile of the cheese is there so that they can quickly pinpoint that the bacteria they use is correct, okay, to produce that, okay. So you can see there are a lot of different type of tools here they can use here. So if you're interested, you can read more in the handout 4 here, okay, by Cutup 2019. It's very, very interesting here. Okay, so that's it for this chapter. Okay, chapter 3 part 2. So make sure, okay, please make sure to actually comment in the Padlets, okay. Please make sure that you write your name and your student ID for attendance purpose here. If you got question, please write you have a question in there. For this part 2, there's no activity, okay. So you can just watch this and ask question if there is. Okay, thank you very much.